Good morning, Rabbi Boisai. I noticed that even when there's 5 people and one of them is Mendy, he won't say
Oh, I did. It's the first time I think in my life I did.
I didn't even hear. Let's do it again. I gotta hear it. This is gonna be chashuv. And you also from over there. Good morning, Rabbi Boisai. That was something special. Wow, just for that it was worth it. Boys, here we are, another day at home. The matzav is the matzav. So last night, about 1 o'clock, we went into the, what is it called in English? The safe room. And then once again at 4 o'clock. So we got this the warning that there's going to be a warning is scarier than the actual warning. It's a very loud, it jars you. So we got up, and then we were waiting for like the actual siren to come. So I'm on my porch, and then the siren started. So I had my phone out. I'll show you what it looks like before the siren and during. In other words, when it falls in other places in Israel, the siren doesn't go off. But I have an unbelievable video here. Let me show you this. It's
Everybody, I know, we all know what's happening right now. We know that our Yisrael needs our tefillos, and we have to do Tehillim, and we have to daven as hard as we can. But I was thinking there's got to be something more that we can do. The Daf Yomi is starting. Selfless Avodas Hakodesh in a few days. Accept upon yourself. I'll do Daf Beis and Daf Gimel. 2 daf. Accept upon yourself the Gemaras that teach us the emun of our connection to Hashem. Say, Hashem, I'm going to learn those, and in that source, please save Klal Yisrael right now. Go learn with Rabbi Eli Stefansky for the next 2 daf. Once Avodah Zarah starts, I'm telling you, that koyach of Torah, of us learning that emunah, will have such an incredible power of shmira that our Yisrael needs right now. And they see a Yeshua b'karav mamash. Amen.
Rabbi Isai, הבנק זירו, הדואר זירו, המכולת זירו, הכל זירו. את סמן בנייה מספר 1, אז הכל נהפך למיליארד. יש לך שעה אחת שאתה לומד, אם זה בראשית היום, זה בתחילת היום. יש כאן הרבה שיעורים של הרב סטפנסקי, השיעור הגדול, המפורסם בכל העולם, כילוי. אומרים, זה לא דף היומי, זה היומי. השעה הזאת שאתה לומד, זה מה שמקדש את כל היום. כן. כשאתה תקבע את 3/4 השעה הזאת שזה קודש קודשים, אז זה מאיר לך את כל היום. זה בונה את כל היום. זה המספר 1 של כל הזירות, להפוך אותו למיליארדים. ובזכות הקביעוס איתם לתורה, כשברוך הוא יעזרנו, שהניסים ונפלויס ימשיכו הלאה, שהרב שליטה ימשיך ויקבוצו כמה ריבה בויס אלפי ישראל ששומעים אותו עד היום, זה עדיין כאפס וכאין מה שבא למסכת הבאה.
okay. Givaldic. Hopefully by the time it goes out, we'll have the English on the bottom. The bottom line is like this. Reb Ari Ben Shushan says, for those new people, just do 2 daf. 2 daf of Avodah Zarah, because those are 2 gishmak daf. And hopefully you'll see the beauty in the Torah, and you'll finish the Masechta with us. Reb Melech, he says that there's a bunch of zeros. You do a whole bunch of zeros the whole day, but all you need to do is add a 1 in the beginning. You get billions. Kitzer, learn some Torah. And here we have a list of some of the siyumim that are going to be taking place. Go to MDYSiyum.com for your local. Here, Belgium, Manchester, Cleveland, Lakewood, Givaldic. People are wondering, so I'm just going to say, I believe that the government knows what they're talking about when it comes to safety, to understand the sakana. The building in Bat Yam that had a direct hit, anybody that was in the safe room or in the miklat or even in the stairwell wasn't harmed. The only people that died, they say, were outside of a mamad. Happens to be that five of the people were not Mishalanu, but those who were in the miklat were saved. So you're supposed to be in the miklat. Now, there are people, I oppose gathering in the shul. I've been in MDY when the siren goes off, and it takes many, many minutes to get out of the room, especially for the elderly. And those are the people that are coming on a daily basis now to the shul to daven. Those people that walk the slowest and have the hardest time getting down the stairs, they're the ones. I oppose it, and I'm not going to lock the whoever wants, they want to take the risk, but just realize that 2 shuls, not 1, 2 shuls got direct hits last night. 2. It's very interesting. So we have to make our shtadlos. Obviously, there's nisim and there's neflois, and we daven and we learn. But you have to make your personal shtadlos. And they tell you, go in. I just saw it from Reb Dave Landau. He says that it's a chiyuv to listen to the hanchayot. Hanchayot means the governmental, the guidelines of the government. That's what he said. He also said not to take videos, which I took last night. That's a different problem. No, but that was as soon as like you have that siren, you have like a minute or two to go in. So I was in the miklat. Anyways, that's just my thing. You want it, you take it. People don't care. Some people, they take the chance. Others are, even I know some people that never went into the mamad. After Bat Yam, the guy texts me, says, I'm in the mamad. I go to the mamad. Okay. Was noch? Did anybody come because of your status? You don't know. Okay. The Seder. That's right. We have to make our shtadlos. What happens, happens. We're holding on Daf. Oh, we have to do sponsors. Correct. I'm used to the Hebrew. Anonymous. Hatzlacha Bruchnius. He's the sponsor of the Masechta. Monthly sponsor Eli Dyckman, Eli Nishmas, Shimon Arya ben Rifka, TCS, Israel powered by TALKNSAVE. Weekly sponsors Jared Ord. Thank you to Reb Eli Stefansky and the whole MDY Chevra for including me in your shiur. Anonymous, Hatzlacha Yashua of Yehuda ben Rifka. May Hashem save and protect. Mlvado. Daily sponsors. Etan Ogorek. Linishmas, my mom. Miriam Shmalka Shalom on her 5th Yartzeit. Time flies when you do the daf. We need a kohen here, actually. Eli Greenberg, in honor of my Rebbe, Reb Abba Rennert Shlita. Keep up your Avodas Hakodesh. Reb Abba Rennert is Eli Greenberg's Rebbe. Shmak. Love that guy. Sponsors, anonymous. So, in case you're wondering, we have a very small chabura here. They all spoke to Benny beforehand. I'll put the number on the screen. But we all, you're not invited to my mamad, but you all live within a few seconds to get to your mamad, and you're responsible for your own lives. The daily sponsors, anonymous.
Wonderful day.
Lili Nishmas, Le'erochel Bas. I would invite you, but there's 2 beds, and there's 6 people, and it's very tight over there. Lili Nishmas, Le'erochel Bas W. Mamish, they're terrible people. 4 o'clock in the morning and nobody brushes their teeth and we're standing right, nervim. Melohn family. Zeichen Nishmas Reb Yosef ben Arya Kohen Melohn upon his 42nd Yartzeit on 20th Sivan. I think I know who this is. I had the opportunity to speak to him. And I took a video. Be'ezer Hashem, I'll have to remind me to show the video of Melohn. Melohn, I'm not going to give it away. It's a cool story that he said in the Beis Medrash last week. MDY Kids Monthly, Innovations, Chus for Fischel, Achon and Akiva, Rifka, Mrs. Stefansky, Arya, Mother Vushlema, Pionatan, Etan Ben Bashava Bracha, for Chus, for Rebbe, and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so joy for so many in honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. I can just say this. Everybody in this country is in a bad mood right now. That's all I can say. Am I right? We're getting up at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Zok the Heilige Gemara Daf Memvav Amud Aleph. Omar Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba. Huh? Yeah. Okay. What we're going to discuss right now are two different things. One is called schar, one is called kotzatz. Schar means my salary that you owe me. I claim I wasn't paid this month, and you claim you paid me. That's schar. Kotzatz is what's my hourly rate. That's why you put a. I understand the kotzatz more than the schar we were discussing. Maybe we could put in like a tlush. I asked Kobe, who's always up at this time of the day, but he wasn't. He was probably busy with his family at 4 a.m. and sleeping in, which is very understandable. So again, there's two things. The Mishnah discusses schar, where an employee comes and says, I didn't get paid yet. Pay me. I did all this work, pay me. Kotzatz is where the employee says, you promised me $100 an hour. And the guy says, what are you talking about? I never paid anybody $100 an hour. I only paid $50 an hour. So yesterday we understood, it made sense, that the Baal Bayis has the manas on kotzatz. He knows how much he pays per hour, and that's not something that he'll get confused with. But on the salary part, did he pay the salary or not? When he has a bunch of employees and he's very busy and he's tarud, maybe in that case, we have to believe the employee, not the employer.
If the time hasn't passed yet.
Oh, so, right. That's what we're going to say. And in kotzatz also, it's the same thing. There's enough community between zman and nazman. So let's see. Omer b'yirim b'yarba. So, well, basically we have a sugya about kotzatz, which is most of this amud, and then we go to really easy stuff. Sholchulei mibei Rav l'Shmuel. They asked Shmuel, Yilamdeinu Rabbeinu, from one yeshiva, from Rav's yeshiva to Shmuel's yeshiva. What's going on? We want to know. Yilamdeinu Rabbeinu, can Rebbe please teach us? So we have a argument in how much the hourly rate is. He says it was 2 an hour, and he says no, it was 1 an hour. Minishba. Omer lahen b'zu yishava balabayis b'yafsid uman. Over here, so this is different than what we said before. This is the employer, the balabayis. He makes the shvuah, and the employee loses out. Why? So this is what we said yesterday, same svara. How much we made up, that I remember. Nobody's going to forget that. Melohn, you're the moitzi, you want double. So you breathe. But I am believed I make a shvuah and Shema Yisrael. As a Gemara contradiction, in a case that we have an argument how much the hourly rate is, doesn't say, what are we looking for? Yishova, that the balabayis, the employer, he should swear. What does it say? Nothing to do with swearing. That the employee, he has to bring a raya. He brings some sort of contract. He'll bring a WhatsApp. He'll bring his friends that were there when he promised $100 an hour, and then he could get $100 an hour. And if you can't prove it, finished. But it doesn't say anything about a shvuah. It doesn't say that the employer should swear and then he could get out of it. It just says that the onus is on the employee. Let him bring a raya. If he doesn't bring a raya, Shalom Yisrael, it's finished. I asked the Gemara, according to what you're saying, let the employer swear, make a shvuah, and the employee will lose out. Omer Rav Nachman, let's dal in Katani.
I mean, the din is the same. It's just the question if there's no shvuah here. That's the kasha for the.
I think he shouldn't even have a raya. He shouldn't have the opportunity to bring a raya.
No, raya you can bring always. That in the last case also, if I bring a raya, then I bring a raya. If I have a WhatsApp that you agreed, then you agreed. But that's not the shaila. Here the question is, there's no shvuah.
He gets out of not paying without doing anything. No shvuah. So from the answer to the Gemara, we'll see both of you are right. And that kind of explains what's going on here. There's two options here. When you look at the employee, he has an option, and when you look at the employer, he has an option. Oh, it may be right. Either the employee could prove that he is supposed to get double, or Yishov Balabayis if you have Seduman, or if he doesn't bring a raya, then the Eina Chanami, the Balabais does have to make shvuah. He doesn't get. We were just talking about the employee. What's his option? His option is to bring a raya. But the employer doesn't get off the hook without anything. He has to make a shvuah. So somebody brings in his talis to a dry cleaner. The famous Maisa, where in New York, the guy brought his talis into the Chinese dry cleaner. They're the best. They fold it perfectly. And remember those bags? They used to fold your shirts. You remember what I'm talking about? They don't hang it. They put it like in a paper, like a paper. There's a lot of starch. The guy brings his towels to the dry cleaner. Comes back, $150 bill. He says, "What's pshat? What 150?" He says, "Listen, 50 for cleaning the towels, 100 for taking out all the knots."
I thought it was really funny.
It wasn't. It's just the fifth time that you heard it.
4 a.m. Sorry.
Fakir, it's funnier. It's funnier now. Everything's funny now. What time did you go to sleep, Sadik?
Did it. Get up, go to sleep. Get up, go to sleep. Okay, I'll stay up.
Okay, we'll just put it over here. This is the Olam. I have a Sefer Torah here. I call the Seder. Gonna have a minion, and they got us good because we thought everything said, okay, there's no sirens in the middle of the day. You can do whatever you want in the middle of the day. Boom, dafka. It's gonna be 3 o'clock. They're gonna wake us up. No, 1 o'clock. Oh, they're done. 1 o'clock. No, 4 o'clock again. All right. You gotta give them some credit. They're not bad. Yeah. Meisvei Hanoisen Talisa Luman. So don't get confused over here. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Not tricky. Who's the balabayas and who's the worker? Think about it for a second. It's a little. The owner of the store, he's the worker. He's working for you. He's cleaning your talus. He's actually the worker. You, the owner of the talus, you're giving the talus, you're the employer. You hired him to do a job.
Is there any difference between an uman and an employer?
Opposite.
Because the uman is like an outsource.
No, uman is an employee, you mean, employee.
Yeah,
No.
So the uman is like, it's like an outsource.
Yeah.
So,
I think
the Matsui is a vikuach about the money and all that stuff. It makes more sense with the uman
I hear.
than with the employer.
I don't think it makes a difference here. In terms of what we're dealing with, they're both employees. You gave your towels to the dry cleaner. The store owner says, we decided it was 2. And the owner of the towel says, no, it was half. There's only 1. Oh, so let's think about, if we think about peh, I think the best way is to think about this without the Gemara, because then it'll be it's common sense. If the store guy, the dry cleaner guy, the talus is in his hand, he's holding onto it. So then the owner of the talus, he's the moitzi. Who's the machzik right now? I have your garment, I'm holding onto it. I don't want to give it to you until you pay me. So he's the machzik. It's not who owns it. Right now he's the machzik. So you have to prove it. If it's fakert, you hold onto it. The owner of the talus already has it. So now, knowing that.
The argument is not about
Here, look. If the talus is by the uman, if it's by the uman, he's holding. But it doesn't matter. I have it.
Right. Argument is not about the talus.
But who has more power here? Who's holding on to it?
There's no argument that the talus belongs to the employee.
But that's how we look at it. He's the machzik right now, and you can do whatever he wants with it. Like in America, you move. You ever moved your stuff? You ever use the moving company in America? They make up $1,000 for the move, and then after they put all your stuff in the truck, it says $2,000. Go do something. What's my stuff? But who's the machzik now? He's the machzik. He has.
Oh, that's what I meant about the.
He has you, huh?
Always.
You say always.
They always do that.
I know many stories with my parents because we made many moves until on the 10th time they found the guy, the honest guy. Okay, so who's the machzik? It's my talus. Too bad. They hold on to it. and they threaten you, and they put it in storage for 6 months, and then when you want your stuff, by that time half of it is gone. And okay, anyway, so it just says over here. I know there's a lot of stuff here on this chart, but when the talis is all the way in the bottom, when the talis is by the what do you do here? When the talis is by the uman, then the balabais, the owner of the talis, he's the moitzi mechaver. He has to bring a raya. Then you go one step above that on the chart. It's a lot of words, so it's not so geschmack. The next day, that's what you were saying, Noam, that when it's already past the chiyuv to pay, you have to baltalin, you have to pay the dry cleaner right away, but you didn't. So the next day, then the uman becomes the moitzi mechaver. The machloikis is the top part.
You mean even if you didn't give the talis back?
Correct.
So he's a chaytanistic.
Okay. Now, in the same day, that day, in other words, there's a chiyuv to pay the guy, and he gave the talis back. That's where we have the machlokes. So that's what we're going to see right now. So let's see inside. Nosnaloi, if he gave back the talis, bismanoi, it's the time to pay. It's like that same day, so you have to pay him. Nishba v'noitel. So the dry cleaner guy makes a shvuah, and he takes the two. Over zmanoi, but if it's already the following day, then the uman is the moitzi. It's not by him anymore. So the dry cleaner guy, he's the one that's trying to extract money. He has to bring a raya. But we said that if it's the time to pay, then the dry cleaner guy, the uman, he swears and he takes. Amai Yishov Balabais, the absolute uman. We said that when it comes to ktsitsa is different. When the argument is how much, not if I paid you or not. I didn't pay you, but how much do I owe you for this beged? How much do I owe you per hour? That's ktsitsa. Who makes the shvuah? The balabais makes the shvuah. The owner of the beged should make the shvuah. The employer, not the employee. The benny, the guy that owns the store. Not in this case. But the balabas, the guy that hired, he's the one that makes the shvuah. Why? Because we said he remembers. He mitkadachet. So the Gemara's answer is, you're right. But this is another man, the Omar, no, everybody argues on him. His name is Rabbi Yehuda. Omar Nachman Yitzchak, Kamani Rabbi Yehuda, the Omar calls man shvuah noita itzel balabais. You're right, even though the shvuah should go to the employer, Sachar Nishba. We flip the shvuah. It's a special halacha that we don't rely on the balabais. Why? Because he's tarud. You see, he holds tarud in all cases, not only in back pay, but also in the wage. How much is it hourly? Also that he's a tarud, and he doesn't. We're not samech on him. We're samech on the employee, not on the employer. So the Gemara just says, "Hey Rebbe Yehuda, where did you find this Rebbe Yehuda? Eli Rebbe Yehuda the Masnisin." So where was he? Rebbe Yehuda in the Mishnah. What does it say in the Mishnah? Asacher. When there's an argument between the employee and the employer, what's the case? You owe me a whole month's salary. I paid you already, you never gave it to me. The employee swears and he takes his salary. You need at least a moed b'mixas. Oh. Is Rebbe Yehuda mekel or machmer? On the employee. The guy getting the money. He's machmer, because he says you can't just come and swear. We have to wait until a certain case where the guy is moed b'mixas, which is rare. Then we'll let you go. We'll let you swear. So says the Gemara, hey Rebbe Yehuda, Ilem Rebbe Yehuda the Masnisin, the case achmur machmer over there. He's more machmer than chachamim. This nan Rebbe Yehuda match day sham mixas seidah. And b'meila what? If Rebbe Yehuda is more machmer in our Mishnah, in other words, he says you can't just swear. You could swear in this case. So by kotzatz also, he should be more machmer. So if according to Chachamim, the worker doesn't swear, so certainly according to Rebbe Yehuda, he shouldn't swear. Rebbe Yehuda is more machmer than Chachamim. How come he says that the Sachar should swear? If Chachamim say the Sachar doesn't swear, so he should also hold that he doesn't swear. Oh, you're right. Okay, so you can't. It's not the review of the Mishnah. El review of the Brisa. This is a case of kotzatz. Mamish our case of kotzatz. The Sanya. Socher calls manchli over all of zman ha'ariz and ishba benoidel. the employee swears and takes as long as the time didn't go by. Oh, this is Mamish Rabbi Yehuda, yeah? Socher. It has to be a moed b'mikzas. In this case, Rabbi Yehuda says it has to be a moed. The what? He said, I deserve 50. I already gave you 25. He says, no, we made up 2. That's a moed b'mikzas. He said, you get $200 an hour. He said, no, we only made up $100 an hour. That's a moed b'mikzas. If he says, I don't know who you are, I never saw you before. He says, I paid you. What does Rabbi Yehuda say? That in our case, if he's moed b'mikzas, the socher is nishba v'noitel. Oh, so here we have a case of socher nishba v'noitel. So we have a machlokes. Who swears? We found the Rabbi Yehuda. You asked me a stira. It says that the employee swears. Okay, that goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. But typically the balabai swears. So by kotzatz. Let's just go back a little bit. Kotzatz. We had a machlokes. They have an argument. How much we made up per hour? He says $100 an hour. He says $50 an hour. So we had the understanding up until today that in that case the employer, he's believed. Why? Because he never forgets how much he makes up with his employee. He always knows. Yeah. In seminary, you know how much every teacher makes. I'm sure. Like, the teacher makes X amount. There's one teacher that she made a whole thing, so you remember you made she gets a little bit of this. You chop exactly. Then you can't. An employee can't come to you and say, "But we made up $200,000 a year." Okay, that's what we understood until now. But now we found the Rabbi Yehuda that says that even in the kotzatz case, we're going to flip the shvuah. Typically, the balabais, you're taking a check out of him, so he should make the shvuah. We flip it to the socher. We have Rachmanas on it because the balabais has too much on his head. Even in that case, so we found the Mandomar. Yeah, bismana, exactly, bismana. This whole argument is mamish that day that whatever they're supposed to get the check, not the following day. Okay. Masculine Rav Shisha Rav Yidi. So you ask a simple kash. Elkotzas Rabbi Yehuda he v'lerabbanon. So you're telling me that this case of kotzas that it goes to the socher, to the employee, not to the employer, it goes according to Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanon. Hashda'echa the machmer Rabbi Yehuda mikil Rabbanon. We said already in our Mishnah when it comes to the schar, to the actual salary, the tlush, like they say in Hebrew, the pay stub, was it paid or not? Over there, Rabbi Yehuda was very machmer. He said the only time that the employee can make a shvuah is when it's a moed b'mikzas. So how does it fit into? This is the question we had before. How is it possible that in our case, Rabbi Yehuda is more mekel than Rabbanon, when in the Mishnah he was more machmer than Rabbanon? Vela my Rabbanon. So you want to tell me that everybody agrees here that by kotzatz, in a case when the argument is on how much it is per hour, that the socher, the employee, Rabbanon will also agree that the employee swears. Vela my Rabbanon. There's no shvuah. The employee has to prove his point. He has to. Do you have any documentation? Do you have any correspondence? Why do you believe you deserve so much money? Mani Rabbanon. If Rabbanon and Rabbi Yehuda both say by kotzatz that the socher swears, so how do you explain this brayso over here that says there's no swearing b'chlal? It's Rabbi Yehuda. Shai is like this. Again, so what's the question? How come in the Mishnah Rabbi Yehuda is the machmir, and how come by what in the Mishnah is talking about the socher? Just go back to this thing, yeah. Socher and kotzatz. The Mishnah is talking about the whole pay stub wasn't paid, and what we're talking about over here today, we're talking about kotzatz, how much it is per hour. She says, Rabbi Yehuda saw of the late socher. He's going to get his kids. It's 8 o'clock. This is when he gets up. He has no idea. Every day at this time, he jumps out of his seat and he leaves. I know what you're doing. I'm hacking. It's funny. And then 2 minutes later, Mayor's brother jumps up from his seat. It doesn't matter where you are, what you are. There's no school. There's nothing going on.
Yes, by the way. You're teaching Magal.
Really? How do we know what it is? This is a story game after Sukkot. Shkoyach. Says the Gemara, Olam Arav Baki Mivli Rebbe Yehuda Sova B'Deraisa of the Tekanta. It's Gevaldik. Everybody gets up to blow their nose outside. I love it. There's the new rules here. No. What? Oh, what's this picture? Stam, what's going on here? I'm telling you, this is going to go down for generations. When people go back to the shiurim of Masechta Shabbos, after Daf Yomi, watch out! I just saw the whole camera go. Also then by Corona shiurim. It's like people get such trauma. This actually brings back not such great memories of Corona for some people.
Chairs to make you feel at home.
What the movie? Yeah. But anyways, one day we'll say, listen, we went through this, but Baruch Hashem, Be'ez Hashem, Rabbi said, check this out. We're planning already a trip to Iran. We want to do the first shiur in Iran. First MDY shiur, Be'ez Hashem, is going to be a new, forget the safari. It's a good, Hashem. We have to go to that Malcolm, where Klai Yisrael used to learn a lot of Torah. No? We're going to go there. There's going to be a new, how do you say shilton? A new regime. New regime where they're going to go back. Huh? Yes. Yossi Klan is going to make a MDY. That's where we're going to go. Shalom Aleichem and Moshe. Okay. Well, yeah.
When Corona hit, we thought it was the biggest
Right.
bang. It turned out to be the biggest bracha
Right.
for MDY.
Correct.
The same thing happened.
Be'ez Hashem. Be'ez Hashem.
Yeah.
Yes.
People know not to go.
100%. Everybody knows that. What he's saying is, in case you didn't hear, I remember sitting here thinking to myself, wow, we're losing the momentum. That was going through my mind. I don't think I articulated it correctly. I remember then we had such momentum. There was 110 people per shiur that you couldn't stand. There were people on the staircases and taxis outside because it's a brand new base measure just for Daf Yomi. They never heard of it. That's where officials showed up. He's like, what is this? Somebody built a base measure just for Daf Yomi? Yeah. Come, and people came from here, from there, from all over. And brachas was going so stark, and like we were all nervous. Shabbos and Erev, we heard Shabbos and Erev is where people fall off. It was stark. All of a sudden, Daf Yud Aleph, mamash, shut down. You cannot go into the base measure. So we're going to lose all these people. It's going to be nervine. Where's the momentum? What? Because Baruch right now, right when it was all great. The Siyum Shas, it was, you know what it means to have Siyum Shas, 100,000 people met life and this and that. And that's where a lot of shiurim shut down, and we were the only guys doing it on YouTube and on Zoom. And then we found out there's something called Zoom. I remember the first time it was on Shabbos Daf Yomi for Yud Beis. And I said, there's something called Zoom. What's Zoom? Right there. So here, it's a bracha. Elam Arav. So what's the svara here? Rebbe the Soba, you came just for the easy Gemara, Moshe. Rebbe Yehuda Soba b'doiraisa of the kantelis sacher. What's the doiraisa, Rabbi Isai, when there's a shvuah doiraisa? What's the shvuah doiraisa in our case? A moide b'miktzas. When there's a shvuah doiraisa, then I could flip the shvuah and say, instead of you, balabayis, you employer making the shvuah, let your employee make the shvuah. Why? Because you are tarud. You're too busy to remember whether you paid or not. That's by a shvuah deraisa, by moed miktzas. Ubi derabanan. But when there's a shvuah derabanan, in other words, the guy is koifer akol, I don't know you anything. So we throw on him a shvuah heses. The rabbanan have it a kanto. So that the whole thing to begin with, it shouldn't be a shvuah at all. So he said, okay, you know what? Because you koifer akol, you balabayis should make a shvuah. And then you want to say, well, not you balabayis. Let's take the shvuah that's already in the Rabbanan and make a double the Rabbanan and make the other guy swear, not you balabais, but the employee. That's the kanto of the kanto. The kanto of the kanto lo yavdinon. So the bottom line is, Rebbe Yehuda holds in all cases, whether it's, let's go back to this chart, yeah, the one chart today. There's more. Whether it's sochar, whether it's kotzatz, whether the shaila is did I pay you at all, or whether the shaila is how much am I paying you per hour. In all cases, Rebbe Yehuda holds that it's a shvuah deraisa, and we take that shvuah deraisa and we flip it to the employee. Why? Because the balabais is tarot, etc., etc. Now, if there's a koifer hakol where it's only a shvuah derabanan, then we don't do that. Says the Gemara, V'Rabbanan Saver, but the Rabbanan nami avdin takantel l'socher. So Rabbanan hold even when there's a kofer akol. That's why Rabbanan in the Mishnah don't say there's a moed makes sense. He's a kofer akol. It's a Rabbanan, but we still do a special takana for the employee, and we flip the shvua to the employee. Uktzitza. But when it comes to that's in our Mishnah by Sachar, but Chaytzet, that we go back to the original story we had yesterday. That even Noam said, Mitka Dacher. So what are you talking about? A Balabais remembers exactly everybody's salary, and there's no reason to flip it to the employee. Now starts the easy stuff. Nigzal Ketzat. Says the Mishnah, if somebody was robbed, so really we're talking about a malvin alayva. Somebody gave somebody a loan, and he's concerned that he's never going to get paid back. So he runs into the guy's house and pulls out some property from the house. So he's a ganav. So the loiva, the borrower, he's going to swear that this guy came to my house without permission, stole this, that. He makes a shvuah and he gets the stuff back. What's going on? Maybe he never took anything out. Who told you he took something out? If a guy's holding an axe in his hand, I'm going to go and where's that hat? Oh, I need the hat now. Here, I hope he doesn't. He's not upset. What? It was in a bedroom. Somebody put it in one of the rooms, the guest rooms. So what happened over here? Guy holds an axe in his hand, and he says, "I'm going to chop down so and so's tree." And then we come there, and we see the trees laying down, all nicely cut up. We don't say he chopped it down. But he said he's holding an axe. No. Sometimes people exaggerate. Alma Ovid Inish the Gozim. He exaggerated really of it. Taisus just points out that if this guy has a history, this is not the first time he said it, and he actually knocked down somebody's tree in the past, we could trust him that he knocked down the tree. What happened was with this hat, back to this hat, I have to get my money's worth from this hat. So, our very chashuv Mordechai Weiss, who I just read his email yesterday, I think it was, or his typed up letter, so he asked me if I could wear this hat on Purim. At the time, I didn't realize that it was like a special request. I should wear it. It's like it's a covenant from that. So after a while, I said, okay, fine, I'll wear your hat. Bother. So he comes, brings it to my house, delivers it, and I put the hat right here where I'm sitting, right here on the chair. And we started the Suda, and I already had a glass of wine over here. And Benny, so he was walking by. And with his elbow, which is mamash a kiss from Hashem, because the next Gemara is talking about elbows, he knocks over the cup of wine, red wine, on this beautiful hat. Okay? I already said the story, but he comes on Shabbos to my house after Purim, because Purim was Erev Shabbos. He comes on Shabbos, he says, I'm here to pick up my hat. I'm like, what? The hat, listen, there's a little problem. So what? No. Rav, you're joking. I said, the little problem is wine. No, Rav, you're joking. You're making it up. No, I'm not. I got to see the hat. He almost started crying. Turns out that this hat, he went to Stetson factory and he had the hat made, a whole thing. And then he went and he called up a Matzisha. This is why I'm saying to myself, he's the most edel guy in the world. He's such a sweet guy. But he said a lashon. He said, who did it? I said, I can't tell you who did it. He says, when I meet that guy, I'm going to put him in the hospital. I said, but he was an accident in the hospital. Okay, I never heard him speak like that. He's like, you know. Kids are the next morning. He bumps into Benny. Benny says, "No, you saw the hat. I knocked the wine on your hat." They just hugged. So that's Mamsh's Gemara over here. Alma Ovid Inish the Gozim Ovid. Yeah, I'm going to put him in the hospital. I went from putting him in the hospital to hugging. Nothing. Ma'aseh Shoya, yeah? He didn't know that I didn't tell him. And he just said, I'm sorry. I knocked the wine on your hat. Akol B'Seder. We need a thing, but it's not going to go on the... Wow. This is not stam, this hat.
I'll show you how I spill wine.
Right over here, it's damaged. Motzei Shabbos, he called up Stetson. He has the guy's phone number on speed dial. The guy told him how to take out the stain with this chemical, and then you put that chemical, and don't put water in it. He sat there for over 2 hours. He came to shiur. He says, listen, it's getting better, but it's not there yet. All this and that, but he got it out for the most part. You could see the damage. Anyways, I paid him in full, but the problem was that he didn't have a hat for 3 months. He didn't have this hat, and there's halachas of when you put it over here. When you're talking to a man, you pick up the hat. When you're talking to a woman, you pull that. The kids are al tishal. It's a whole Torah. I never knew. I'm just trying to get my $350 worth of mices out of this one hand. Zok the Gemara. Next year Purim, we're gonna wear it. Oh, and he insisted I take the hat. He came back right before he left to America. He came to my house. He says, "Rob, this is for you." I said, well, "I want you to have." I said, "No, I want you to take it back so they know exactly what hat to make." They take this flat piece of leather and they make it on the spot. It's a whole thing. Okay. Zog the Gemara. It's like a nice hat. So you see that people exaggerate. So just because maybe he walked into the house, I need a mashkin, give me, you better pay me back. Who said he took stuff? He took. Says Gemara, Emo Mishkanoid. We have Adim that saw that he went in there and took stuff. Says Gemara, if that's the case, we'll see my Mishkanoid. So ask the Adim what he took. What happened was something like this. There's a little bit of Bensi Wallman's idea. He didn't do it. That there's a lot of kalim. I don't know if you see. Okay, he has stuff under his jacket like kalim. Okay. He's breathing heavy. I don't know what he's saying. Okay, something. What do you say? Oh, yeah. So, but we didn't see exactly what he took, but he ran out of there with Caleb. So this is Amud Beis. It always goes very, very fast. You see somebody with Caleb underneath his coat, and he says, "Oh, I purchased them." No, seriously, you see a guy walking out with the, you know what I'm talking about, like a computer sticking out of his jacket a little bit over here. I bought it. Shoplifter, exactly. Shoplifters. There's all these where they shake them down. He's not believed. I made a little chart. I fixed the chart a little bit today, more than yesterday. Where's my new chart? So it goes like this: a person is not believed if the guy is not a seller. He's not in the business of selling stuff. I bought the computer from Meir Dambi. He doesn't sell computers. He bought a computer from me. He's not a store. You buy a computer in a store, not from him. Also, there's certain items that you hide. Certain things you don't want people to see. You don't walk in the street with I don't know what. Toilet paper, you put over it. I don't know. You're not going to walk around like... Also, a person who's not a tsanua. If he's a private kind of guy, okay. Now, he's not believed when he says it was stolen, and not believed when it's something that it's typical to lend. L'mashal, it's pretty normal in our community everywhere to lend a car. So you can't drive somebody's car and say, "Oh, he sold it to me." It doesn't work. Man. It's normal if we all know it was your car, now you're driving, somebody else is driving it. Wow, live in Cyprus. Hillel, let's show the picture if we can. Let's see.
Arya is taking the pictures.
Is he swimming back?
It's like you know him, that there's no pictures of you in the first.
I want to remind you, turn the page.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, turn the page. Who's going global? Turning to the Daf. Innovations will see in honor of our sons Kalmo and Yisrael for learning Sanhedrin, Makis and Shevuos, a 9-year-old. Learned those 3 Masechtas, tremendous. Adar Global, answering questions, great again. Come and see him, Rabbi Isai, go and see him in Cyprus. He's waiting for you. Anonymous, in honor of all the holy tzaddikim that work so hard to bring us the daf every day with no credit given, enough said. So to answer my friend, if he's watching, Avi Kamelar was making a chasana this week. If you want to know how to get your daughter out of Israel, speak to the Stolen Hasidim. They got the Rebbe in through Egypt, and they got this, I don't want to even say that man's name, the gross guy that came for a terrible thing here in Israel. They got him out. He used to be a man, a woman, something. So through Egypt, you could get him out. If it's so important to get your daughter to the chasana, through Egypt on a private plane, it's doable. Says the Gemara. Okay, so now we're just going to go through these 5 rules over here real quickly. If you remember them, great. He's not a type of person that sells. Then he is believed. It's only things that are, it's not typical to hide. Why are you hiding it under your coat? Because that's the derech. Okay. You don't hide a bicycle under your coat. Why are you hiding it? You're gonna. These people are very private. Everything they do is very private. They never tell anybody anything. They're always secretive. That's the norm to hide. If the argument is whether it was borrowed or sold, okay. But if a person says he stole it, I'll tell you the story. It's a crazy story, and I said this before, but I'm going to take out some of the details. When I moved to Israel, I had a terrible story going on in my family, a very, very bad thing that took me out of learning for close to 2 years, and it was a lot of money spent. But anyway, one of my kids got into trouble with the law, and was very, very busy with it, with lawyers and this and that. So we went to one of the top lawyers in Israel, and he looked at the case, and he said, basically, he didn't get back to us. Okay. I went to him again in Tel Aviv, sat with him. No. He didn't say no. One day, his secretary calls me up, and she patches me into him. And he says, listen, is this Eli? Yeah. I thought about your case. I can do the case. Actually, if you give me $20,000 cash, I can take care of everything. Everything will go away. I'm doing a deal with the prosecutor and this and that. So listen, could he do a little bit of community service for $20,000? I can take care of it. $20,000. So I already spent hundreds of thousands. Okay, $20,000. I said, I'm coming right now. I have the money. I'm coming right now to your office. He says, okay, come to my office. But you don't have to come to my office. You know that the other lawyer that you met over there, whatever his name is, his mom is, he lives right next to you in the moshav. He'll come to your house. What do you have to do? So I said, okay, fine. As soon as I get off the phone, I said, wait a minute. It just didn't, the whole thing didn't make sense. So I call him back. I go into my phone and I look up his number, I call him back. He picks up. I said, hi. He says, hi. I said, what do you mean, hi? We just schmoozed. What do you mean, hi? Like as if, he says, I didn't schmooze. I said, we didn't just have a whole conversation, $20,000? He says, don't give that guy a dime. He's been doing this to me and he ripped a lot of my clients off. Whoever he is, don't give him the money. So I go to the police station and I tell them that this guy's trying to rip me off. So the guy says, get out of here. I don't have time for you. He says, listen, we're middle of the intifada or whatever it was then. It was 11 years ago, so look it up. I don't remember what it was. I don't have time for this. We don't have the resources. They're all busy, picking people up in the street. I said, but the guy, he's mamish ripping people off. The lawyer told me just ripped somebody $100,000. Now me $20,000. He says, I can't deal with it. All of a sudden my phone rings. And it's the guy trying to pick up the money. He says, give me the phone. So the detective takes the phone. He says, hello, yeah. He says, listen, I'm coming. I'm down the block. I'll be there in an hour. I'm here to pick up the money. He says, okay. He tells him, okay, go. He says, go home. Give him the money. Don't worry about it. So I go home. And a few minutes before the guy shows up, this big, tall cop and this other 2 cops, basically, they come to my house. They said, what's going on here? Where can we hide? And there's a little kitchen there, like a little Pesach thing. And they went into the Pesach kitchen. And then knock on the door. The guy comes to my house. I said, sit down. I made him sign something. The cops told me to make him sign something. He signed. And then he starts counting the money. 1, 2, 3. And then all of a sudden the doors open up. And the cop says, you're under arrest. So he didn't hear. He goes, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm in the middle of counting. And he finished counting the money. I'm not joking. Finishes counting. And he says, you're under arrest. In front of the whole neighborhood. The whole neighborhood took pictures. They took him out. And some of his was on the news, this, that. Anyway, I hope he doesn't watch the shiur. So that's what the detective, because the detective's like, I'm not gonna, we don't have time to bother this. But once he heard, then there's the chazaka. It's time to claim that somebody's a gana, that we don't do. This is also rule number 5, is that it's only items that are not meant, that are meant to lend out and to rent. But if it's something that is not meant to lend, so how are you holding it, right? So just to explain, I should have said this all in the beginning. If somebody has something on them, he's wearing this suit, he has this Rolex watch, we assume it says, now, the problem is that we know it was in his possession. Now, why is he holding it? Why is it under his coat? So now you have all these different things. If it's something that's he's the type of person to hide. Then it all goes. Okay. Something that's meant to, people typically lend out. Rabbi said, what's something that's not, think about an item that you would never lend out. Anybody come up with something? No, people not. You not, but a lot of people. A brand new car. I got it. A toothbrush. What else?
I'll lend it, I just won't take it back.
A shaver. One of those. I know a shaver. Something in yeshiva, yeah. But it's a little. How about that rolling deodorant? No, you always have
that guy that asks for toothbrush instead.
I don't know if I ever said this. Maybe I did. We have to go. How much time? Okay. There was in Eretz Yisrael, the minhag was when you leave to America, you sell all your stuff, everything. So, kids, I put up a sign, and the big sale is going to happen on Sunday. On Tuesday, this guy calls me up. I said, no, Sunday. He says, I can't come Sunday. I have this reason, that reason. I'm sorry, Sunday. He calls up the next day. I'm a chassan, and I really need to come. You don't understand. I'm not going to be there, and it's mamish pikuach nefesh, and it's good for my shalom bayis, my future. No, come on Sunday. Kids are, and you start getting these phone calls. You chap already what's going on. Sunday he comes an hour before everybody else. Knocks on the door. What did he buy? Beloy guzma. The leftover toothpaste, because I sold the toothpaste. Whatever was left in the thing, that's what he walked out of my house with. After calling me 25 times and coming an hour early, he took the little piece of toothpaste, because it's American. It was American, it was Crest. Crest toothpaste. Yeah, rather. Yeah. That mamish helped the shalom bayis, not this. And it happened to be that everything was misstated that he could come on Sunday right before but he couldn't come when everybody else. He had to come 2 hours before. Exactly. That does help shalom bayis. You're right. The Rava happens to get the Sarbala, the Safra Dagato. Miasmi. Rava took out the special. This is not it. I think it's a much smaller one. But anyway, some sort of scissors and the Agadata sefer. Oh, mamish like Inyan the Yoyma. The Agadata we're gonna have in. They used to have Sfarim. They would lend out it's like a storybook. Geshmak stories. You say over, like Reb Chaim Kanievsky used to tell over his kids. I got the stories. So that's something you lend out. You don't lend out. It says in Rashi, you don't lend out regular Sfarim. Regular Sfarim, you bend the pages. It's that, especially in those days. We're talking about then. Everything was handwritten. What? Why do you take these things out from the Yisayim? These are things that you lend out. That in Rashi explains that the Yisayim, but if the father is alive, then and the guy says, I bought it from so and so, he's not believed. Why? Because this is something that you typically lend out. It's not some. So the reason why I have your book, these books, a book is $2,000. It's like a novi. How much does a novi cost? $5,000. I don't know. The reason why I have it because you lent it to me, not because I bought it from you. Omer Rava. Afilu shomer nishba. So what happened was, the loiva claims that you came into my house and you took some collateral without permission. Says Rava, it doesn't have to be the loiva. It could be he's a guy that has already security. It's not the first time that he borrowed money. People are always knocking on his door. So he hired a security company. The security guy could also swear that this guy came into the house without permission. But even the security guy's wife can. Even the loiva's wife could swear and say so and so took something out of my house without permission. What if you hired, let's say, a carpenter? He's in the house, building something in the house, and he noticed that the Malva walked in. Could he also swear for him or not? Maybe it's dafka a security guy that's there to watch stuff, but we don't really trust the sachir. Okay, teiku. Only because of the kaspa mai. He comes in, he says, "Listen, you see, he took my kiddush cup. No, why would you have this kiddush cup? In those days, why would a guy have a beautiful silver becher? It's not like today everybody has one. This I just showed because this is what my wife got me for Siyam Mashas. It's a nice one. Don't ask me why, it's a nice one. So, so if you made a Siyam Mashas, then it makes sense that you have one. Or you're wealthy, or people give you things to watch. We're talking about in the time of the Gemara. People didn't have cost of the kaspa. The famous one, okay, we're not going to say the Maisa now. Of Rabbi Kamenetsky. Chazino, Yinish Domedu, or Yinish Demehemenu, Mavkidinish Gabe, people typically will ask him to watch expensive stuff. Then it makes sense that you walked out of his house with expensive stuff. Then the loiva makes a shvu and he takes it. If you stama, they say in Hebrew, tafran. How do you say it in English? I don't know if there's a good word for that. No, a guy that has nothing to his name. So all of a sudden he has Rolexes that are worth $35,000. A guy has no money, right? The guy earns $1,000 a month, and he's borrowing money from everybody, and then he claims, wait a minute, you took 2 Rolexes out of my house, and each one's $35,000. Okay, whatever. Patek Philippe, what is it called? Patek Philippe, whatever this watch, it costs $50,000, $90,000. Make it taste. Like even today we have something like that. If you're a big knacker, you're walking around with these custom-made suits and the what do they call the diamond cufflinks, and you tiny that you had a Rolex watch, they still it fits. But you're a guy, you don't have a car, your shirt is like this. I don't think you have a Rolex watch. Yeah, okay. Goes by the person. What's the story over here? That a guy claims that somebody injured him and he wants money for it. A part of his body that he could injure himself. But if it's a place that he can't injure himself, then he doesn't have to swear that so-and-so did it. Maybe he injured himself on purpose. People do it all the time to get out of certain things. They tell the police that this, they want $1 million from the New York City. So they hurt themselves. Look, the cops did this. What? What happened? Oh, that's his. He loves this. We should have shown the shiur. We have that. Tony Rebbe also in Shicha begaboy. Oi, uben atzilo yodav. Oh, Mari took a picture. The guy bit his own elbow. It's impossible to bite your own elbow. He actually did something. He's trying to. No, you'd like this. My son, Lozzie said he could hit his elbow on the ceiling on Shabbos. I said, if you could hit your elbow on the ceiling, I'll give you $100. The whole Shabbos, he's trying to hit his elbow, but he actually got this close. And I said, listen, it's kedai for $100. I want to be able to say, my son hit the ceiling. This is it's at least 9 feet, the ceiling. It's not at all. Maybe somebody else bit his elbow. There's nobody else there. So if somebody is choshed, he constantly swears falsely, so the other person swears. Even on a shvuah, like to say that this table is gold, which is a shvuah shav. Says Gemara, what does it mean? Let's say I swear I don't know any edus or whatever it is that has to do with somebody losing money. It makes zero difference whether this table is gold or not. Because you lied once on that you said that this table is gold, we don't trust you anymore. You're a pathological liar. When it comes to shvuas, we don't trust you. But listen, how come it's not mentioned the idea of shvuas bidui, which we learned a lot about, where a person says, I will eat this bread today. At the time of the shvuah, it has to be a lie. But since it's possible to happen, he could eat a loaf of bread or he won't eat, then we don't talk about that. As the Gemara, that's dafka when he says, I will eat, I won't eat. But if a person says, I ate in the past, which is a lie, right now it should fit into the whole Shvuah thing that should be mentioned in our Mishnah. Says the Gemara, Tana Shvuah Shav v'chol d'damilei. It is included when the Mishnah talks about Shvuah Shav. It includes all lies, including Shvuas Bitoy in the past. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day and keep safe.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shiur today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.